Hello everybody and welcome back to another race with Palmetto Racing League for their Season 1. I believe this is the 9th race of the season. They are at Daytona today. So we had some difficulties last weekend. We were supposed to have a stream as I was saying, I apologize. We still kind of having a little bit of difficulty. We had a little bit difficult weekend last weekend. A lot of technical difficulties going on. The stream that we were supposed to have, we ended up having to cancel. There was several issues with the race in general, and it wound up being a mess. So things got put off. The race this week for Wednesday that was supposed to happen with the X5 series, I ran into some difficulties with that one as well. We're still kind of trying to get the kinks worked out, but I think we are finally to a point to where we have resolution on all of that. We're hoping, fingers crossed. We definitely want to have all these bugs worked out before Season 2 kicks off, but it's just some minor difficulties we've been experiencing as of late. Like I said, hopefully everything is squared away now. We can continue on with these seasons of racing. So we are getting out on the track now. Practice today was quite interesting. Everything was pretty straightforward. We had track was actually split up into a couple of different packs that were running anywhere between 5 and 6 cars grouped together. Everybody kind of got out on track at different times, so a couple of them started bunching up together, and I think we had, like I said, probably 5 or 6 groups on the track of 4 or 5 cars each, and everything was pretty solid. Didn't see a lot of issues on the track. Didn't see really anything with would indicate that this track would be filled with cautions. Daytona's pretty huge. It's over 2 miles. I think it's actually just over 2.5 miles. So a lot of space to cover. You won't get the typical what you normally get at some of these smaller tracks like Thompson last weekend. Even though that wasn't broadcasted due to all the difficulties we had. I'm almost certain, like you seen with the truck race at Thompson last weekend, we did get to broadcast that event, fortunately. A lot of wrecks in that. It's short track, a lot of accordion effect, cars bumping up into each other, getting 2 and 3 wide in some instances. It definitely would have made for another race filled with wrecks, for sure. Pace cars off, so we're about to get this one underway. 30-lap race, and hopefully it will be without incident. That's what we hope for anyway. Make it there in the turn. Things are looking good. You kind of see some grouping right there. There's a little bit of a gap between those first 5 cars, but the straightaways they can quickly make that up. Some of them even going in the single file back there. Daytona's a track that, see how you can easily run 3 wide all day at Daytona. There's plenty of room there. I got one kind of bumping into the wall there. I think looks like we might have lost one there. Maybe. No, he's still hanging back there. That's the number 22 back there. It's kind of going in and out. Might be experiencing some technical difficulties himself. It's the only thing with electronics. You can be sure you're going to have issues at some point. Hopefully it's stuff that you can easily fix. They're kind of holding it tight in there. Nice little formation going through. Pretty much several cars there 3 wide. Got some on the inside, some are bouncing on the outside. Pretty straight single file line on the inside lineup, which is, I mean, that's to be expected. Inside the cab of the number 7, David Carrillo. 4 cars 2 wide there. And don't forget, this afternoon also, following this season league cup race, we have our truck series recruitment race this evening that is being hosted by Palmetto Racing League. Anyone can join. You do not have to be a member of the league. This is simply to gauge interest in our truck series as we prepare for season 2. Season 2, as we've said before, is going to offer 2 different series at one time. It's looking like for the truck series we have confirmed a 25-week season, and the other series they'll be running is the little Mazda MX-5s that you've been seeing on Wednesday nights. No word yet on how long the season for the MX-5s will be yet. I don't believe it's going to be quite as long as the truck season. Truck season's running 25, so MX-5s, I kind of guesstimate to see them maybe run a 13-week season. But we'll know more on that in the coming days as we get closer to that. Season 1 wraps up towards the end of this month, so we've got a few more races left. They'll be wrapping up the season with Myrtle Beach Speedway, and that will be the end of season 1. So far in the season standings, Aaron Vogt in the number 22 car is leading in points. So as it sits right now, he will be taking home the Cup championship for this season if things stay the way that they are. We shall see. I mean, I don't foresee any of the other drivers being able to catch up to him. The last I looked, I believe he's sitting around 269 points. So as long as he doesn't miss any races after this one, he's pretty much got that in the bag. And you figure even with these races running, you come in first place, the max amount of points you can get is 40. 40 points get awarded to first place position, and it kind of staggers and trickles down as you go down in the positions. I think it's once you get around, I think 25 in the positions, the points kind of start to stay the same. It's where you get a drastic drop, but first place brings home 40. So even if some of these other drivers were to win first place every race for the next, the remainder of the races, which is I think like 3 more races, it still wouldn't be enough to catch up to that 269, because no matter what position he places in these races, he's still coming home with some points. So they would have a lot of catching up to do to make headway on that. Still rolling here. So far, so good. No incidents. We are on lap 7 of 30. The lead, I want. Yep, they're staying pretty tight in there. It's a pretty solid formation. Kind of widens out a little bit in the back, but for the most part, right there in that middle section, all those guys are grouped together. They're especially the ones in that inside line. Not much room to give there. Got a couple of them moving from that outside to the inside. Things can get a little tricky when that happens. I've seen it happen before where they thought they were clear and able to move to that inside from the outside position and ended up clipping a car and causing a major wipeout. Well, speak of which, number 5 car just ate that wall. Yikes. That is definitely going to be a caution. I'll be shocked if it isn't. Number 5, after a hit like that, he might be done for the day. I have not seen the pace car yet. These guys are still rolling, so maybe it didn't trigger a caution. I just knew for sure that would. We continue on here. There's the caution. A little delayed on that. I figured they would have been called that. Well, while we enter this caution, we're going to take a quick break real quick and give thanks to our sponsors with a special shout out. Be back momentarily. Today's sponsor spotlight is for Working Man Outdoors. Real experiences, real results, real affordable. They're not here to sell you a fantasy, they're here to give you the real deal. Working Man Outdoors brings working class outdoor adventures to your level and your budget. Experience duck hunts with all the thrills, none of the fluff. Located in Southwest Louisiana, give them a call today and book your hunt. 843-919-0405. Working Man Outdoors, where hard work meets wild reward. All right, we thank you for sticking with us. We are back. Just wanted to touch on too. It's been kind of a hectic week for the league this week. So a lot of things didn't get passed down or passed out as far as information goes, and we apologize for that. I'm going to do my best during this broadcast to try to update you on some of those things. I mentioned earlier that this is race 1 of 2 today. The second race will be later on this evening for the Truck Series. It'll be the Season 2 recruitment race for the Truck Series for Palmetto Racing League. They will go green flag at 9 p.m. So there will be I will be broadcasting again at 9 p.m. for the Season 2 recruitment race for the Truck Series. Don't miss that one either. It will be at Daytona. The Truck Series recruitment races right now, they're following the League Cup season races. So whatever track the Cup Series is racing that Saturday, that's the same track that the Truck Series is going to race also on Saturday. It'll just be staggering time. So if the Cup race is in the evening, the Truck race will be the early hours of the afternoon, 12, 1 o'clock, 2, depending on time, and vice versa. If the Cup race is at 1 or 2 in the afternoon, then the Truck race will be that evening. So either way, they'll both be done on Saturday, but just staggering times between afternoon and evening time races. So the one this evening will be kicking off green flag broadcast at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to tune back in around then, we'll be broadcasting again with more coverage at Daytona with our Truck Series. I was mentioning earlier before the break that the Season 1 will be wrapping up at the end of this month, and they'll be finishing out at Myrtle Beach Speedway. When that happens, the league's going to take about a 2-week break before Season 2 kicks off. And Season 2 is going to have the Truck Series and the MX-5 Series. Truck Series will be taking place of these races on Saturday. The MX-5 will be happening every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. The that's when, excuse me, let me reiterate. The MX5s will race at 7 p.m. The broadcast will happen probably 2 hours after, so we'd broadcast that race at 9 p.m. And that'll be the same every week. That time will never change. The Truck Series races on Saturday that will be taking place of the Cup Series here for Season 2 will go back to kind of a similar format with staggering times. It'd be some afternoon races, some evening races, much like this season has ran. So for the most part, that stuff's pretty much going to stay the same. We've just been running the recruitment races staggered times from the Cup races to gauge an interest, trying to get people to get in the league and have some fun with us and race. And we do that with the recruitment races in hopes that scheduling it on the same day as the Cup races, it'll attract more drivers that are already used to and accustomed to racing on Saturdays. So shouldn't be much of a difference for them once Season 2 actually kicks off. The league is growing a little in numbers. It's picking up. We're still not where we want to be, but we're getting there, and it'll come in due time. It's been really cool to see this league grow into what it has, and already moving into Season 2. And it seems like just yesterday they were getting started, and we were on race 1 at Darlington, opening up for Season 1, and now here we are 9 races in, and it's been really fun and interesting to watch. And we are back now, green flag, lap 10 of 30. Getting you some different views there. We're looking at the number 55 car of Nate DeSelms. I believe somewhere along the way we may have lost somebody there. Yeah, it looks like we've lost a couple actually from that last wreck. Number 22, we did get an update from him. He's experienced some internet difficulties, packet loss, so it's a very real thing. We were kind of worried about that before the broadcast kicked off, because we've been getting storms off and on all day where we're at, so we got a little concerned with losing internet. But so far so good. We've been able to bring you the coverage and keep you updated, and hopefully the same happens for this evening's Truck Series race. Keep things interesting. What we got going on here? Why is everybody slowing down? Did we have another caution? I don't believe we did. I haven't seen a caution flag yet. I'm not sure what the slow up was. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Not exactly sure what happened there. We're going to go on another short little break here. I'm going to see if we can't figure out what just happened. Make sure we're covering all of this. So give us just a second, and we'll return live here shortly with a replay of what just happened. Alright, so we were able to trace it back here, and we're going to start this replay for you and see what it was that caused that caution. Looks like someone got spun out here in the turn. Right there. One of them ate the wall. Let's rewind that one more time. Still wasn't the way the camera angle was. Still wasn't able to make out who it was that was involved. Looks like it had to do. Yep, right there. Wall contact, and he jumped the hood of the car there. So another nasty one. All right, we'll get back to the action now. Another caution underway. Thank you for being patient with us there while we ran that back to try to figure out what happened. I think the way the camera angle was, we were at the front of the pack there, and that happened towards the back some, so it was just out of camera shot. Much like you guys at home, I'm sitting here watching this just the same as you are, kind of picking things out from the action as we go. There's our caution. So second caution of the race at Daytona. We had a lot of drivers get out from that first accident. I don't suspect this one to cause as many people to have to drop out like that last one did. That very first caution out, that was pretty nasty. Started with actually started very similar to the same way, and I believe the 83 was involved in both of those cautions. Started out with a little bit of wall contact, and then in the back of somebody's quarter panel. So we'll just be a brief moment and a couple of laps around the track, and we should be going green again. We've made it to lap 11 of 30. Cautions, laps do not count during caution, so if you've ever wondered why when they're under caution they cross the finish line and it doesn't move up on the laps, they do not count during caution during this race. That is one thing that they are looking at for season 2 that they may wind up changing. Caution laps may start counting towards the final result of the race, in a hopes to kind of sway everyone from driving reckless out there. We do have a incident counter that typically it will penalize you if you get too many incidents during a race. First 10 incidents are all right, but once you hit number 10, you get a penalty, and then after that, every five more incidents, you get another penalty, and then when you make it to 20, you're just disqualified from the race. You know, the league owner and the administrators, they understand that, you know, a little bit of bumping and rubbing is going to happen, and typically, unless it's a hard hit, they don't count towards incidents. A little bit of rubbing doesn't count towards your incident count, but wall contact, really even rubbing the wall doesn't count. But if you smack it pretty good, or you smack another car pretty good, that counts towards your incident. And when you hit 20, you're done. They tell you to take it back to the trailer and park it. So a little bit of overcast, it looks like today. I don't really think the sun's been out too much on the track at all. No rain so far though, so hopefully it stays that way. It's looking a little hazy out there. Don't think rain on the track would be very good. But with the MX-5 series, I think rain is a possibility for some of those tracks. So that's going to add some wow factor to that season too. And it kind of adds variety too. We're not going to be strictly watching just NASCAR setup races. We're going to be moving to the world of open road courses, which if you guys watched last Wednesday, was it last Wednesday? No, not this past Wednesday, the Wednesday before, the Charlotte Roval. that was pretty interesting. Um, I've driven that track before. It's a really fun little track. They have two different variations. There's one with one has a few more turns than the other does. The other's more kind of a straight shot with a curveball there in one of the turns. But overall, a pretty fun track to run. I think the MX5 series is going to be an interesting series being added to the league, and I have heard rumors of a. I don't think anything has been set in stone yet, but there's talks of another series being ran by the league. Whether it'll be just an open hosted thing or if it'll be just strictly a league thing is yet to be determined. But it's, from the way it was explained to me, sounds to be really chaotic, and I think that one's going to generate a lot of eyeballs. So I'll try to keep you posted best I can as I hear the information. Sometimes you guys hear the information before I get it with Facebook posts and flyers and whatnot on TikTok. So if you're following the league on those social channels, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, keep posted, because there's been a lot of talk going around about stuff that these guys are looking to add to really bring that wow factor and make this league something that everybody will want to be a part of. They're not one of these bigger leagues that have been around for a while, so there's not 120 plus members. They're still fairly somewhat getting started. The skill range is even kind of spread out, but this league, a little bit of sunshine right now, looking dark and hazy. The experience level in the league has really been kind of spread out. Some days these guys look phenomenal, and then days like today, I'm sure the 83 car was not planning on being involved in the two cautions that this race has had so far. And nobody, I don't think, ever really plans for that, but sometimes it happens. Kind of noticing there, he's not back out on the track yet, I don't believe, so probably most likely getting repair work done in the pits. That first wreck was bad, the second one wasn't much better, and he hopped the hood of the car. That was interesting. I don't believe I've ever seen that happen. So there's at least that first for him in the league. As we mentioned earlier, our other human driver, Aaron Vogt, in the 22 car got disconnected earlier due to some internet issues, lag issues. I don't think the East Coast has had very favorable weather today, especially the southeastern portion, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, certain parts of North Carolina. Guys are hitting some rough patches today in the weather, so it happens. It sucks too, because with all the internet issues that we suffered from last weekend, was the main cause of the second race for last Saturday not being broadcasted. Really, it wasn't even really much of a race, because the league owner wasn't able to jump into the race, so there were no AI cars. I believe the number 22, Aaron Vogt, he showed up, and he was the only one. So it wasn't much of a race, all due to technical difficulties, and because of that, the broadcast got jacked up. So it was not a good weekend. We are definitely glad to be back this weekend and actually looking at some action on TV and watching these guys get down for 30 laps at Daytona. 2 cautions so far only. It's not bad. These guys are grouping up 2 wide for the most part. Got 2 lines of action going. Looks like one's trying to sneak in the in the middle of the pack there at the very back. Gotta be careful about doing that. That's a good way to get sandwiched. We are at the halfway point of this race, lap 15 of 30, as we continue on at Daytona. We're going to take another brief pause here for a second, another sponsor shout out, and we'll be back with you shortly as the action continues. Today's sponsor spotlight is for Working Man Outdoors. Real experiences, real results, real affordable. They're not here to sell you a fantasy, they're here to give you the real deal. Working Man Outdoors brings working class outdoor adventures to your level and your budget. Experience duck hunts with all the thrills, none of the fluff. Located in Southwest Louisiana, give them a call today and book your hunt. 843-919-0405. Working Man Outdoors, where hard work meets wild reward. And we are back, 14 laps to go. Just kind of gives you an idea of how big this track is. You had enough time to sit through 2 sponsor shout outs, and they just now managed to knock out 2 more laps. So Daytona is really widespread. There's these guys aren't really hitting their brakes unless they're getting too close to one another. The turns, track, the full stretches, they're all full throttle. There's not really any need for brakes unless you get, like I said, you get too close to someone's bumper. It's the only time you gotta worry. So 13 to go. Again, I mentioned it earlier. Don't forget about our Truck Series recruitment race this evening. Green flag for that will be 9 p.m. We'll be broadcasting that live. Number 8, Jamie Baker there is in the first position. Got 2 single file lines side by side. I think it's safe to say for this race, AI is most likely going to win. Seems like the 83, we'll do a check on him real quick. I believe he's still in the pits. Yeah, he's just coming out, so he's probably a good six laps down. As long as we stay green here with no cautions, I don't foresee him being able to make up that 6 lap deficit. So at this point, he's doing what I like to call just getting out on the track for charity. He's still gonna finish his laps until the checkered flag comes out. So the camera view there is that far off down the track that you could barely hear the cars. Daytona's a fun track. It with it being stretched out the way that it is, it's super fun. I don't want to take anything away from the short track races. The short track is going to offer wrecks and a little more strategic planning on how you maneuver that car in between the lines, and a lot of times there's a lot more openings on short track races because no one, you really, it's hard to hold the line on short tracks. So you're kind of all over the place, bouncing inside to outside, sometimes in the middle. Especially as the race goes on, tires start to wear down. Whereas you look at this race right here from Daytona, these guys are pretty much able to hold their line the entire time. and there's not a lot of movement back and forth on the track. You haven't really, besides that number, what is that? It's number 8. He's there's been a slight change in position with him a few times, but for the most part, the line's pretty steady on being held. So for the most part, the duration of the race, that's kind of how you're going to see things. These guys are drafting on each other because drafting plays a huge key in Daytona, with the track being as big as it is. If you lose the pack, you're going to wind up getting lapped real quick. The key to Daytona is to stay with the track. It's a lot like Talladega. Those tracks are so big and open. You stay with the pack, you'll be all right. You got to have drafting from the car in front of you to really make it work. The minute you lose those guys in front of you, you're going to wind up getting lapped. And the only thing you can really do at that point is hope for a caution, because those guys that are staying there with each other, they're not slowing down. And they're basically feeding off of each other's drafts and just gaining speed. When you run, if you were to get into a car and run Daytona in one of these Gen 6 cars by yourself, the average speed on the straightaways is roughly anywhere between 183 miles an hour to, I think the max I've seen has been about 189. So just being by yourself, that's pretty much what you can guarantee to run on the straightaways. The turns, it drops down a little bit, usually stays around 183. And this is without anybody else on the track, so there's no one to draft off of. But in a group like this, running the straightaways with like those 3 cars that are together right there in the front, the number 8 car and the 2 behind him, they're running with drafts probably close to about 193, 194 miles per hour on the straightaways. In the turns, they're running about 189 to 190 miles an hour. So it's interesting to see that when those cars are feeding off that dirty air, that they're able to go faster. But by themselves, they wouldn't be going that fast, and it's cool to see that, actually happen, because you'd think it'd be the opposite. You'd think the air from the other cars would cause a slowdown, but it doesn't. It's like they feed off of it. You can see they're all kind of getting in that single file format, and that's the reason for it, because they're drafting. They're trying to keep that draft. There was a gap between that yellow Toyota and the 83 there, and you can see he's closing in on that gap because he's catching that draft from those 3 cars in front. So we're down to 5 laps before we wrap this thing up. And it's looking like the number 8 there is, if he keeps that lead up, he's definitely going to be taking the flag home today. 5 to go. And we will be wrapping this up, and we'll hope that you all join us for the Truck Series race this evening. Again, that green flag is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure what time zone you're in, but those times are based off Eastern, as we are here on the East Coast. So if you ain't got nothing going on, be sure to drop in and join us for that race too. I'm sure the action's kind of probably going to be relatively similar to what we're seeing here. There's not a whole lot of action in tracks this big. These guys are relying on the draft and waiting for the prime opportunity to shake and bake, if you will. Just 4 laps to go, and we'll be wrapping this up. We're going to take just a minute here and put up on the screen all of our social media channels, so that if you haven't went and liked or subscribed to keep up with all the updates and news, you can easily do so. The YouTube link there, TikTok, and Facebook. We want to thank everybody for the support we have been receiving as of late. Social medias are growing. You guys are keeping up to date with everything, and the YouTube channel is constantly getting some feedback, and TikTok as well. It's been really cool to see all the interaction with everybody and folks commenting on our stuff. We like when we see that. It gives us encouragement to want to continue to do more and make more content and keep the stuff rolling. We want stuff that everybody's going to be interested in, and season 2 is going to be just a start. Season 1 we started out just doing the Cup Series. There were a lot of changes that had to be made on the fly. They had decided in the beginning that they didn't want to start an actual Cup Series until 20 real-life members were actually on roster and racing at any given time. Luckily, they didn't stick with that, because we would not have these broadcasted / televised events on our social channels, because there wouldn't even be any official races happening right now. These guys would still be running recruitment races trying to get members. And we are on the white flag. 1 to go, and this one is done. So again, we want to thank everybody for their participation. If you've shared and helped us spread the word on races or anything like that, we greatly appreciate it, and we would encourage you to continue to do so. This league can only be as successful as everyone makes it to be. It takes more than just us putting on these events and getting the word out there. Some of that comes from you guys too. We went from having hardly anybody viewing these broadcasts to now we've got regulars every time this thing is showing. So it's been a real fun experience. It's been cool to see. So that's going to do it for us today. Jamie Baker in the number 8 car took the cup for today. Again, I know you're probably getting tired of me saying this. I just, again, want to remind everyone about the recruitment race for the Truck Series tonight, 9 p.m. We hope you'll join us, and we will see everybody then.